YouTube channel. I'm Rosie. I'm Rosie Henshaw. And if you're new here, then welcome. It's lovely to meet you. And if you're already existing, guys, then thank you so much for coming back. I really do appreciate it. So grab yourself a nice cup of tea and some snacks. I've currently got, I know, very naughty, very not good for you, very not nutritious, but it's fine. A pumpkin spice hot chocolate with cream and marshmallows, because do you know what? I've got this feeling that I don't want to fit in my clothes this winter, so I am going to start in summer divulging. Was it divulging? I don't know. Taking loads of things in that are sweet goods, cookies, baked stuff, hot chocolates, and it's all going to have a little bit of pumpkin in it. Why not? I want a milk moustache. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. So I'm going to get in today and we're going to be making a very autumnal video. So I've been down in my summer house to get all my supplies out. So I've been collecting foliage and stuff for absolutely years now. I bought a couple new bits from the range, but these are my autumn stems. I'm going to be making a wreath. The wreath base I actually got from a charity shop a few years ago, but you can get these basically anywhere. I've also got some pumpkins, so I've painted some pumpkins, which I will insert a clip because I've done a little bit of crafting the other day when I had a spare hour. So I painted some pumpkins, so I'll show you what I've done with them, the technique, what I've done. I'll show you what they look like now because they look really beautiful. And I also got this really lovely large dough bowl from the range. I was going to say M&S, is it from M&S? It looks like it's from M&S now. But it's from the range. It was $9.99, and I've stained that as well using a scratch cover guard thing, and it looks really lovely and rustic, much more expensive than it did. I'm going to be making a huge table centrepiece, autumnal piece for the table, as well as a wreath. Should we make the wreath first? I think we should. So I'm going to insert a clip now of me painting the pumpkins. So this was the other day, I sat there and painted the pumpkins, and I think they've come out really, really cute. So I've got this colour, it's called Chimney Pot, and this was by Wilko. I think Wilko's still on the range, isn't it, Gal? We saw that, so it's still on the range, you can get that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mute these down a little bit, because obviously the kids have painted these. These are just loads of pumpkins that we got off Amazon really cheaply. Some of them are really beautiful actually that I probably might not touch. So some of these have got like these little stems, and some of them have got some really nice large gold stems. I actually have one stem left over. I might pop on that one. I might pop it onto a larger one, larger pumpkin, but if not, I've got some of that antiquing sort of paint that I can use to, I'll show you what I mean anyway, some rub and buff, that's what I was thinking of. I'm going to keep the little dark one in here for a minute as well I'm painting, because it makes it nice and easy. And the ones that are going to be using rub and buff, it doesn't matter if you get paint on them anyway, because I'm going to be going over them with the rub and buff anyway. But it's nice because I let the kids like paint these for Halloween and stuff, and then you can just go over them with your paint and reuse them again, either to craft with or to, you know, just make bits and bobs with. So these pumpkins actually needed 2 coats in total. So as you can see here, this is what they look like after my little break, and then they've dried. So once the pumpkins were done, they actually look really lovely, but they were kind of flat. So I wanted to add a little bit of depth to these and make it a little bit more 3D looking. So what I done was I went and got some brown paint. Now this is just an acrylic paint that I had in my craft supplies, and I thought this would look nice mixed in with the colour that I painted the pumpkin, making a darker tone on the top and then adding more brown. I feel like this has almost made it look like they've been dug up from the dirt. So much nicer, much more realistic, and I actually feel like they look so expensive. If you was to buy these in the shop, they'd cost a lot more. So I also done this on the orange pumpkins too, but what I did is go in with a lot more of the brown and a little bit of the orange instead. And this is what they look like while they was drying. I just think they look absolutely adorable. And yeah, just the crackle on this one just was amazing. I feel like they look so realistic. So I just went into my craft stash and I got this rub and buff. So I've got the European gold. This is much better than the antique gold. I feel like it's a much nicer colour. So with a little brush, I'm just going to stipple on the gold This one's already got a gold stem, but it's a bit glittery. So I feel like it's gonna look a bit posher. And this, guys, is what the pumpkins look like now. I'm sorry, I think they look super, super cute. And I think they look really expensive. Like, I feel like you could have bought these from a really expensive shop. Like, some of the pumpkins are just absolutely adorable. And these are the ones that come with the gold. This one is the one that come with the gold stem. This is actually the rub and buff on the stem. So it's like not as gold brassy, it's more of like a muted. I actually prefer that. I think that's quite nice. I don't know if that's showing up on the camera. It has got a bit of a sheen. And then, yeah, done a few different pumpkins. I've got a few different little ones as well. So I'm going to be adding these to the wreath. My wreath base. I've also got some florist wire. And I've also got some wire cutters as well. You can pick these up. I mean, look, this is the Christmas one from Pound Shop. I always get loads of these because I do a Christmas workshop for about 13 of us every single year in my house. Just got some snips as well. You can get them off Amazon. You can get this off Amazon really cheaply. So I'm going to get some florist wire. I don't know why I went to the West Country then. And then I've also got my wreath, which I'm going to be using. So I want to make this really, really large, and I want to make it very, very moody and sort of like all the autumn sort of colours, but more like burgundies and stuff as well. So not as much orange. So I've got loads of stems. I don't actually know which ones I'm going to use yet because I want to use a few for the centerpiece as well. So I've got to spare these out. Some of these I've actually got for Christmas. I'm going to put away for Christmas, but obviously I can use them for now. I saw these stems in the range. I thought these were beautiful. I think these are about £2.50. But I thought these are much more muted. I love these. And I've also got the ones from Home Bargains. These are really great. And I mean, to be honest with you, you could always paint these as well and give them a little spray. But I think I'm going to pick out the pine cones and a few of the orange ones, but more the dark burgundies. Sort of like a snip them. You can obviously just use them in a basket, put away after. So I'm going to be making a very moody, a very moody wreath. And then I've also got this bunch. I don't know if this is going to play a part in it, but I do think that some of these stems could look like these ones could look really nice in this. They look well realistic. So I'm going to take these ones out. Let's start off with my base. So what are these? Roses and a hydrangea. So now I might put them in a jug actually with my other autumn stuff. So let's clear this out of the way. I'm going to lower the camera as well so you can see. Oh, these slippers, they're in M&S. They're basically sandals and they're like a felt material. They are cosy, but I am more of a barefoot girl. So let's adjust. We adjusted? We adjusted. Are we adjusted? Yes, we're adjusted. Right, so let's get into the wreath making. So I'm going to be using some of these burnt stems. Now, a lot of these I'm just going to sort of like weave into my wreath. We're just going to go with this, guys. I'm going to keep these nice and long because I'm going to want to make it nice and large. So I want to keep these sort of sticking out. So I'm just going to pop these in to my wreath. Now, most of these willow wreaths that you can buy online, they won't have this curly bit around them. It'll just be this solid wreath base, or it'd be that sort of like wiry rattan. Now, if you have that material, I would just say secure it with a little bit of florist wire, wrapping it around it, because it's not going to go in as guided as this is. But I am going to pop some more of these in. I think I'm going to spread these really evenly round. I don't know if I'm going to go for more of a, you know, a look above the bottom or to the side. I think it might be weight heavy if it's to the side. I can't believe how real these look. They're like polystyrene. So do we go for like a bottom wreath? I don't know. I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah, and then we're going to put more here. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to go around more at the bottom. Do you know what? I'm not. We're going to go do a whole round wreath. Do you know what? This is the thing. When you're making wreaths and stuff like that and centerpieces, you can just literally make them whatever you want. You haven't got to... Right, so we're looking a bit weird at the minute. It's only got a few stems on it. But I want to spread these out as evenly as I can, because I'm going to be adding so much to this wreath to really fill it out. So the circle in the middle may be small, but we'll add it out because sometimes you can't get them big wreath forms very easily. So I'm also going to be adding some of these burgundy stems as well. I am actually going to cut these down a little bit because I don't feel like you need them to all be on one stem, and I feel like we can spread these around a bit better if they are separate. Cut them down a little bit. The metal cutters, this is always a little bit difficult. There we go. So I'm going to split that into two. And I'm going to add these round as well. So these sort of bases that you've got, you could obviously add all your pumpkins and stuff to this, but also as well, going into the Christmas season, you could very easily take some of the autumn sort of browny bits out of this and the orangey stuff and just leave the burgundy in, add a few more colours of your choice. And then I think I'm gonna go all the way around with these ones here. And then we've got another one of those stems here. Right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go all the way around with these. I'm probably gonna secure with some florist wire after, going some places where it's not as secure. I've trimmed a bit more of this off because I had another stem. I'm going to be adding a few. Gone the wrong way with that one, and I silly me. Do you know what it is? It's because it's on the reverse on the camera, what I can see it. So sometimes I confuse my own brain. And we've got a little bit of an autumn wreath coming along. It's looking a little bit sparse at the moment. So now what we're going to do is we are going to add some of our orange foliage, I think. Now this was from the range quite a while ago. I think the orange is going to really just add a little bit of something to that to break it up. I'm going to separate these because I feel like they can be added throughout the wreath a little bit nicer if they're separate rather than on one stem. They do a lot of these. They did do these years ago. If you've been following my channel for a while, you would have seen they used to actually do these ones in the pound shop, and they had them exact burgundy ones, and I had them on my wreath for absolutely ages, and I used to put it out every single autumn. I think about 3-4 years it lasted, and then they just faded in the end. But for a pound, for your suppliers, you can't really go wrong. So I'm just going to add a few bits of these orangey. Now where I'm going to add these oranges is kind of away from where these are. So where I've got the brown ones, I'm just going to try and add some of the orange in between, because I feel like that beige can really like break it up nicely. So I feel like where the beige is not, I can add our burnt oranges, and I'm just trying to weave it through my wreath. And then last bit around sort of here, I'd say. Yeah. I absolutely love wreath making. It just makes me feel so happy, and obviously it looks very sparse when you first start doing these wreaths, but once you start adding more and more to it, they start to really come together. So these picks, I don't know if I want them to go in as whole. I feel like they will really fill it out. I think what I'm going to do is split these into two if I can, because a lot of these have got like this sort of like wire where if you are to sort of like, they come out. And then I'm just going to tie a couple of them together. So the pumpkin one is separate. It's quite a nice pumpkin, but I'm just having the colours of my ones that I'm having in there today. I keep all of these bits and I'll add them to my little floristry basket. I've got a huge basket down the end, and it goes, all of my foliage and stuff goes in there. And then this one is, take that one out. So you can take all this paper off, and then you can do your own individual little ties once they're separated together. So I think I'm going to do bundles like this. And I'm going to add some florist wire to these just to tie them up and keep them bunched together. And the thing is as well, when you're making these, like when I make Christmas wreaths, they always say to bunch them up together and then add them round in the wreath. I'm going for quite an organic sort of layout really, something that's just quite rustic looking, rather than something that's quite neat. So I've not done that, but with these little bunches and stuff, it's quite nice to do that because then it's easier to have a bit of a layout round. So these ones, I'm going to be sticking in roughly, I feel like there's like spare spaces, there's gaps. So popping them through, and then this will need a little bit of florist wire around it to hide it, but also it's good because where I will be gluing the pumpkins, I'll probably glue them onto the metal parts there so it isn't affecting the wreath below. So I'm just going to secure this by putting the wire around and then giving it a little twist. It's so therapeutic making wreaths. Honestly, if you are thinking about getting into a craft or doing something or making something autumnal for your home, a wreath is an amazing thing. Now, to be honest with you, a lot of the times I wouldn't make these from scratch. So I had a wreath for absolutely years, which what I would do is it was a plain eucalyptus wreath, and I would add Christmas bits at Christmas, Easter bits at Easter, autumn stuff in autumn. As I say, the wreath actually lasted me years and years, and it was only the bits in it that went a bit faded, but the wreath had actually faded. I think it's probably, I think I'd had that wreath about 5 years before I started showing them on my channel, and then I had that for till last year. So I think the wreath done me about 9 years. Now bearing in mind that I've done every single season, I paid like about £45 for it to start, and it done like 9 years. Every different season, it was out on the front door, so it's well worth investing in and spending it all. I've got like the dark fingers now from all this. Investing in, because it's so much cheaper than doing fresh wreaths or keep buying different wreaths. You can make them your own and then they're different to what everyone else has got. This one's going to go here. And then secure it again. It's quite repetitive doing the little florist wire. You can also use florist tape as well if you want to. I just prefer using the wire. I just feel like you can cut it, reuse it. Sometimes as well, if you are hanging these outside, I mean, to be honest with you, all of this could be hung outside. It's only where I've not coated the pumpkins, and I could go over them with like a Mod Podge or a glue or a sealant and seal them pumpkins. I just kind of want it indoors, I think. These ones got quite long stems on them, so I don't even know if them ones are going to need securing, to be brutally honest. So the acorns, oh, there's a little bent one there. That works out perfect. So as I was just about to moan and say there's no acorn on the other side, it went and fell out for me. So now there's acorns, not the wrapper, the actual acorns. And then obviously you could just use these, if you didn't want to paint pumpkins and add your own, you could literally add the pumpkins that come on the stems. I did get these for Christmas, but I don't know if I'm thinking that these would look really nice in this. So I got these sort of like weird peonies, and they're in a dark burgundy. I'm thinking they could look really expensive in this, maybe with like one of the hydrangeas. I don't know if these are like too full, that it's going to make it look a bit much. Do you know what? I could always try with one stem. Could always try with one. It's not going to hurt, is it? Peel back the plastic to expose the wire, and then you can snip it. Because I could use these in my, oh yeah. I don't know why, I'm just loving burgundy at the moment. Loving the burgundy shades. Whether it's clothing, decor, homewares. Yeah, I think what we could do is it's a bit more sparse around here. I could add, because I'm going to be adding pumpkins to this, I'm going to be also adding some foliage at the back. Oh, she's starting to look gorgeous. I'm going to add, should we add a little bit of the autumnal stuff? I'm thinking maybe just like the dark bunches. There's a few dark bunches on here like this. I'm thinking of just dismembering them and having the dark bunches, because I've got this real moody feel for it. Because last year my wreath was really like lots of burnt oranges, but I'm thinking this year I only want a little bit of that in it. I've got to add the pumpkins yet as well. Yeah, I think I'm just going to add these bits a little bit. Stem them in around there. You're going to go any further. orange leaves, isn't it? I'm going to cut them off and leave the burgundy leaves on and the... Is that too much? I'm going to be adding pumpkins on the bottom, guys, so although it looks a bit weird with the 2 peonies. I don't know if that's too much. Yeah, I'm going to take that out. I'm going to take that one out, and then I'll probably add one more peony head, because I like things in threes. Odd numbers always look nicer. So put the peony heads round, so they're all the way round them. And I'm thinking that's looking really, really lovely. Now I'm going to be adding some dried florals, hence why I'm keeping this indoors. You can obviously add, you know, waterproof faux foliage if you want to, and then it will just, you know, it'll be fine out there. I've got these dried eucalyptuses. I've been drying them out in a jar indoors a bit further. So these were dried. These were from Home Bargains. But if you dry them out a bit longer, they get this yellowy colour in them, which is such a nice tone. So I'm just going to be sticking these. I'm going to need to stick them around near the front. And they're so lovely and fragrant as well. And it's weird. I always tend to buy new eucalyptus round about this season. I think it's because I'm indoors a lot. Popping in two in the same sort of place as I go round and breaking it up. And any that's coming through the bag, you can just weave it into your wreath or secure after with a bit of florist wire. Yeah, this smell is nostalgic to me. It's like literally autumn. And I'm going to add a few here. I think in total this is costing about £16, £17, the amount of supplies I've used. And I actually think it's far nicer than a lot that you can buy shop bought. That's including with the pumpkins as well. So now I'm going to put my hot glue gun on, get that ready, because I am going to be gluing in some of the pumpkins. So obviously that is just the foliage. Now we're getting into the pumpkins that I painted earlier. Add that extra bit of something. Now I don't know whether to go with, I think the larger ones would be more for the display, but it would have been nice really. Perhaps you could cut some of them off the bottom and add them like that. Obviously I'm not going to. I'm going to be adding some of the smaller ones. So I think these are just going to look really stunning in here. And I've also got a few of these like little beige ones. Now I feel like the beige ones are really going to break this up and make this look something really special and different. In actual fact, I don't think I'm going to be dismantling this ever. I really love it. So I'm going to have to go around and secure all of this real quick. That one fell out. I didn't take the paper off that one. And secure all of this. Probably where I've been shoving bits in it. And I'm going to be keeping this up. I think this is going to actually look really beautiful in my lounge this year. Where's my little glue gone? I just knocked a glue off. I think I knocked it down. Oh, there's another one over here in my basket. Anyway, so I'll pop that in. I'm turning around a bit. I'm turning around ever so we can see with the hot glue gun. Get it ready. Have a little sip of my, I'm sorry, but look, it's the best feeling in the world. Oh. So what I am actually going to do with these really large ones is there's going to be loads of leftover of this metal stuff that you cut off. So you can actually, because these are polystyrene, I will make a little hole in the back and I will actually secure it with some glue, but you can pop them in and then pop them in that way as well. And then that way you don't have to, I'm going to cut it down a bit, you don't have to put glue on them and potentially peel the outer layer off them. So you can do that with these. I mean, and you can get stronger wire and do that with, or you can put them on like toothpicks and stuff and make your own wooden, not toothpicks, what they're called, like, you know, they want like skewers, barbecue skewers. You could put them on them. So some of these are going to go in like this. I'm going to have to glue, whether I like it or not, some of the little ones have got to be glued in. I think that one is such a lovely little shape. Look all the foliage and stuff coming up on my hands. I'm going to be adding some of the white ones as well. Like I say, you can be using these on the picks. I'm just Adding that one up there. This is just gonna look so pretty. Like, I'm so glad I took the time. Keira Knightley then, didn't I? Oh, it looks so pretty. I look rather pretty. I keep doing that, it's rather annoying. Keep doing the Keira Knightley, I can't stop it. My nan said that the other day. She was like, oh, the glass shattered on her back door the other day. She went, the weird thing is though, she went, it actually looked quite pretty. She went, the way that the pattern was. And I went, oh, hello Keira Knightley. She was like, oh, shut up you. Because I'm like the wind up in our family. She was like, enough. Don't be annoying. We are annoying. We know what you like, but stop. Is that too large? Do you know what? I don't care. We're going all in. We're going all in. And do you know what? Because it is so large, we're going to have to use one of the stems to stab it in the bottom. It's so exciting, guys. And I've got another little orange one that I'll probably cascade down here. I think maybe I might add, well, up there. I've decided that this is staying up. And I feel like it's just filling out so beautifully. I am going to go a bit extra because why not? I don't know why I painted so many in the beige. I think it's because it just looked cute. I'm going to add another one to the outside. I don't want to go too mad and then be like, oh. I mean, look how crazy that wreath is, but how beautiful is that? So the Amazon pumpkins I had a couple out of one pack, but basically it'd be the equivalent of one pack. You can get one small pack that's got these sized in it. They have 8, 1, 2, 3. That's cost me no more than £21 to make. And I personally think that looks very expensive and very beautiful. And I don't know if I'm missing something there. Is there a pumpkin missing from there? Is there? Does that need to be there, that last one? Let me know, guys. I don't want to go too far with it because these ones are a bit too big and I need to leave some for the display. Obviously, I can repaint some. I've got some that are in stems and stuff as well. But I'm sorry, I think that wreath looks beautiful. Oh, I could do that as the ribbon area. I could do that as a ribbon area. So I'm going to add some ribbon now as well. Let's move some of these out of the way. So the ribbon I'm going to use, should we use some of this really lovely forest green? I feel like that's going to really complement the moody colours in it. Or we have got the orange. I think that's too orangey. Maybe this hemp. Yeah, we'll use the hemp. So let's get some scissors as well. Let's get some scissors. I'm going to cut these just on a diagonal. This is a little bit wired, but it's not great. So I'm going to lay this down like so. Lay another layer over. And another layer over, like so. And then on the last layer, I'm going to trim it on a diagonal. Might need to shorten this. And then what you do is you get a little bit of florist wire. If you do this at Christmas, I end up doing everyone's bow at Christmas when I have the Christmas wreath workshop. Even some of my friends that are quite crafty, I'll just make the wreath, the bows rosy. I get in such a rhythm of it. And then you bring the long pieces down the back. And then when these are like large, like rounded pieces, like a ribbon that's sort of like that sort of thickness, like that sort of depth, if that makes sense, like a thick ribbon, very similar to the buffalo check, you'll end up with these really beautiful ribbons. This one I haven't had to cut in the middle. Some of them are cut in the middle. This one I haven't had to. I might even fray the bottom as well, just sort of give it a bit of a... Oh guys, I absolutely love it. I'm just going to secure it. I just think that looks beautiful. So, wreath, mission accomplished. So should we get on to our beautiful, big, styled up centerpiece? Right, really happy with that. For a thumbnail, why not? Oh nice. I know you're not meant to be like, oh my god, I'm so glad what I made, but do you know what? Why not? It's fine. While I'm tidying this ever so slightly, I'm going to insert a clip now of what I did with the large dough bowl so you can see how I stained it, and then we're going to get into making a nice centerpiece for it. So I've got this wooden dough bowl that I got from the range. Now, to be honest with you, this is gorgeous, but I've seen similar dupes of this online, which cost like £50 upwards. This was £9.99. However, the wood is super soft and not that great quality, and it is very, very fair, like very pale. So I'm thinking of staining this slightly. Now, I have ordered some browning wax. However, I am super impatient. So I'm going to be trying out the Wilko scratch cover. So this is what I had for my old table, because my old table was a little bit darker than this one that we got now. But I am going for a slightly lighter colour now with all my wood. So I sanded all the furniture around the house. So I'm thinking we could try it out. But what I am going to do, so that the board doesn't absorb too much of the scratch resistant, I've got another sponge which is slightly damp. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the damp sponge over it. Just so it doesn't get absorbed. So you'll see in the areas which are absorbing it really quickly might have gone quite dark. So just go on the edges, and I might even give this like a little bit of a chip at the sides and stuff to make it look vintage. Because the ones I've been seeing are quite expensive, the ones that I like, and I don't really want to be spending out lots and lots of money. And with the sponge, I'm just gonna deepen the wood. So this is going to be part of the centerpiece. Which I've probably explained. And then I'll redo these bits as well, because these are also revealed. But the bottom part of it, I'm not going to bother. I mean, if you wanted to, you can. I just feel like in case it transfers onto any of the furniture and stuff, because some of my wood I've left quite raw. So I won't be putting it on any of the furniture. I mean, my table still. This is the end result. It is now dried. I've left underneath so you can see. So this was the colour that it mostly was all over it, and it had a few bits running through it like that. But now you can see the stain is lovely and dark. It's really nice. It's got little chippy bits on it, and it just looks really lovely. So I am going to be propping it up in a minute so you can see it a bit better. But I'm going to be using a little bit of this Oasis floral foam. Now, please, if you don't like nails on a chalkboard, maybe look away. No, it's not the same. It's like eating styrofoam, I suppose. I'm going to get a bread knife just to trim this down ever so slightly, because I'm going to be putting this in the bowl just so that it stays together. I'm not going to be gluing anything in this bowl because I will be reusing this. I mean, I use this some years. Oh, that's the Hoover. I do use this some years to put an autumn display in, like a basket. But this year I wanted to do it in the dough bowl. So I'm not going to be gluing into the dough bowl because I'll be using this for all different seasons and different like table centerpieces. But just so the floral bits stay together, so the bulk of what I'm putting in it stays together. So if it was to get knocked over or moved by Albert, it is all going to be there together. So let me just get a bread knife out. It's not the best noise in the world. I'll put that aside because I've got another craft coming. So literally, going to be putting that in the centre. So when I put my foliage and stuff, and it also gives a little stand for my pumpkins and stuff to stand on as well. And then what I am going to do is I'm going to use that little foam block to show you. And there we go. Right, so what I am going to be doing is I have got my hot glue gun, so I am going to be putting the bits together with this. So I am going to be popping a little bit of glue on the top. I do have another glue stick somewhere. I knew to bring in enough glue sticks. So I'm going to be putting quite a bit of glue on this foam just to keep this secure. And what I'm also going to do as well is, as I showed you earlier with the stem picks that you can get, I'm going to be using one of them that just come off the piece of foliage. And I'm just going to be popping it in the centre as well, and it will just, with the glue, help it to stay in place. So we've got our large pumpkin in the middle, and then I'm going to be using, I've got like furry boobies now, I'm going to be using the other large pumpkins as well. Now I'm not going to be putting them directly onto this square, so I think what we're going to need to do is cut a little bit of the block off, and then on the other side do the same. So you can mould these what you need them, because what I would like is for these foliages to sort of stand around the front like that, so they're closer into the pumpkin. I am going to glue them on, but what I'm going to do is I also am going to just chip a little bit that way, press it in, mould it in a little bit actually, because you can mould these, can't you, a little bit, press them in. So I am going to be doing this, but I'm going to be adding one of them little picks to the bottom and to the sides. And yet again, I'll be gluing it, but to keep it all together. And then I've got another large one here, which I'm just going to indent this bit because this bit needs to come away a little bit as well. And then press it in a bit more. And then I'm going to be putting this one about here. Pop this one in. So we've got our pumpkins. And then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to be putting this pumpkin here. So I'm just going to be putting this one in the underside like this. Popping it through the actual foam. So when I lift the foam up, this is like this. You're not going to add it to the bowl. It looks like it's cascading over the bowl. It's really nice because it's going to stand up and it's not going to make any problems. And then we are going to add foliage. So I'm going to be using some of this sort of like foliage that I showed you that you can get in the bundles. So these pumpkins, I know this pumpkin was a small one. I think I paid, this was a gold one that I painted. I'll go through my Amazon and I'll have a look and I'll put the prices in, but I know that this table centerpiece, obviously this you reuse every year. I paid a tenner for, but the bits that are gonna go in on top of this are gonna be no more than about £12. So, you know, it'd be about £22 to create this, which is really, you know, if you bought something like this in a shop, it'd be way more expensive. But you can reuse these bits every year. And then obviously the dough ball, £10. I'm not even going to count for myself because I know that I'm going to use that as a decor piece anyway. It's only now that I've decided to incorporate, but I could use a basket. I could use a basket like this and do the same arrangement inside of it. You could put these in plant pots. You really could do anything, or you could make this as a display and not have the dough ball underneath and just put this on a nice table runner. I mean, if you lift that up, you could add all your floral arrangements to this and just stand it on the middle of your table, like, you know, like a Christmas centerpiece. So you can reuse this. I would, you know, maybe put like a plastic bit of sheeting underneath to protect it. So I'm going to be using these. I don't know what ones to do first. I am going to trim these ones down where I can find my metal bits. Like I said, I didn't actually tidy up very well when I come off the camera for 2 seconds. I just thought, no, do you know what? Just carry on and you can hoover and tidy up after because you're going to be using a lot of these anyway. Put that to the side because I probably need that. So I've got 2 of these sort of roses. So I think these would look quite nice. Coming in the sides here, and it sort of covers that section as well, so you're not going to see the floral foam. Put another one on the other side as well. You really don't want to see the floral foam. And then from the back, that's what it looks like, but I'll show you because we're going to cover that up now. Now we've obviously got some foliage here on show, which I don't want on show. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding little bits of like eucalyptus and stuff, and also some of these sort of leaves and picks as well. So this was a pick that you would have seen off of the wreath what I cut off. So it's off of this bunch here, but what I've done is I've just cut the dark picks off this because I'm going for quite a dark and moody vibe. I'm also going to trim that down just a touch because it is a little bit too long. And I'm going to pop this in the front. I'm going to keep a lookout at what I'm doing and use the leaves to sort of like cover the area. And then I've got the other one that I snipped off, but if you remember rightly, I snipped off the orange leaves because I've said I don't really want the orange leaves on there. I want it quite dark and moody. So I'm just going to pop this in. Now I think this one would look quite nice behind this pumpkin, and yet again it's going to need trimming down quite a bit because I want that to sort of fit in there. I'm going to lift these up as well because you can lift them up to it and trim it down again. So I want to put the leaves round, almost like it's cascading together. Might even lift that one around there. I think that looks quite nice. We've also got a few more of those. Now I do have a few of them like little burgundy snips that were left on that. So I might even bring these up. I think they'd look quite nice at the front or like sticking out at the sides. I think I'm going to be using the eucalyptus for that. few eucalyptuses. So I think I might try and do a few sprays just to break the green up in these bunches. Yeah, I'm going to do that when I've got another one on the floor. Because I'm so tidy. So when I was cutting them off, they was just like, oh, hello. So this one is a bit of a snippy one. I'm just going to get your exercise in. Who said crafters don't exercise, eh? I don't think anyone ever said that, but I'm just assuming. Because if you're crafting, you're not exercising, are you? But do you know what? I've got another leaf. Where's the other leaf? Where's that other leaf? It's here. I'm actually going to glue that one on because that one come off. So, you see, you can always use what you weren't using and you can use it later on. Waste not, want not. So even a leaf I've saved. And then I'm going to pop them into the back here. Got a bit of foliage. So, as we lift it up, it's a whole unit. Now I am gonna, because I want it to be a whole unit, I am just gonna snip a few of the dark leaves off, and with my hot glue gun, I'm just gonna glue a few. So I'm gonna hold the pumpkin back like this, like so, and I'm gonna glue a few on to the actual frame, twisting it around so that the leaves are sort of pointing in an upward motion. Lay this back actually, and I'm going to use a few of them burgundy leaves off of the prick that I got. Is it a prickle or a pickle? It's a pick, isn't it? Not like a prick off a thorn. As I said, I thought that's not right. And what you will have is when you lift it, that floral foam will virtually be impossible. I mean, if you were just going to have this and not in a dough bowl or in a basket, I would actually say put a few more pumpkins on this, which I may do as well, because I've got a few orange ones I may just add to it. But I'm now going to add some of the eucalyptus. So I think a little bit of eucalyptus shooting out the top of this would look really, really pretty. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with my gut on this one, and I'm going to shoot some eucalyptus out of the top to sort of make it look really pretty. I don't want that leaf in the way because I want you to see the beauty of the pumpkin. And then this piece of eucalyptus is a prettier one. We're going to use that one. Break that one. Pop that one in there. I tell you what, I'm going to go out to my craft supplies. I think I've got a few white ones I might add. Let me just go grab them. Right. Yeah, we're going to add a bit of white for a bit of contrast. Why not? In there. And then that one, I'm going to stick there. So look, this centerpiece here would look absolutely gorgeous on a table. I'm just having it in the tray. And then what I am going to do is so to cover the back so that you have a really pretty back on it as well. I'm going to add these flowers. So pretty one side, pretty the other side are the eucalyptuses, because I'm going to put them in a little bit taller. And then we have, I'm actually going to put these to the side. because I'm a little bit crazy and I changed my mind. I'm gonna go style these up, guys, and put them in the living room. I really love the centerpiece, and like I say, you could definitely have this on the table. You would not need to have this in a dough ball. I just think the wood adds an extra vibe to it. You can obviously add a few bits here, like loose potpourri or whatever you want to do, but I just think it looks lovely as is. Adding some autumn into the living room now, and I don't care what anyone says. I'm doing it to make me happy. This has been my YouTube video. I hope you've enjoyed, guys. Take care. Bye.